Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hope you're doing well. We're continuing our reading of Shakespeare's play of Julius Caesar, one of my favorite figures in history. I used to have a statue of him, but when I converted to Islam, I had to get rid of it because, can't have that kind of artwork. But I am a big fan, and I've read lots of books on him, and I continue to learn more and more about him, and so this fictional play adds in a bit of drama into the saga that is Gaius Julius Caesar. Let's begin. We are in Act IV. We are in Scene 3, Brutus's tent. Enter Brutus and Cassius. Bismillah. Cassius. That you have wronged me doth appear in this. You have condemned and noted Lucius Pella for taking bribes here of the Sardians, or in my letters praying on his side, because I knew the man, were slighted off. Brutus, you wronged yourself to write in such a case. Cassius, in such a time as this it is not meet that every nice offense should bear his comment. Brutus, let me tell you, Cassius, you yourself are much condemned to have an itching palm, to sell and mart your offices for gold to undeservers. Now that is a line right there. To undeservers, to the undeserving. An itching palm. Think about that, an itching palm. Like, to sell your offices for gold. Bribe, corruption. Think about that. It's like Shakespeare has these fantastic ways of beautifully saying something, and I really do enjoy that kind of rhetoric, that kind of speech, because it has a way of lingering on the ears that's more lasting than just saying you're corrupt, right? It's well done, Cassius. An itching palm, you know that you are Brutus that speak this, or by the gods this speech were else your last. Brutus, the name of Cassius honors this corruption, and chastisement doth therefore hide his head. Cassius, chastisement? Brutus, remember March, the Ides of March, remember. Did not great Julius bleed for justice' sake? That villain touched his body, that did stab, and not for justice? What shall one of us, that struck the foremost man of all this world, but for supporting robbers shall we now contaminate our fingers with base bribes, and sell the mighty space of our large honors for so much trash as may be grasped in thus? I had rather be a dog and bathe the moon than such a Roman. Let's examine this, okay? So he's pointing, contaminate our fingers with base bribes. So selling your honor out. Brutus is contrasting, look, we took down Caesar, and our hands are stained with the blood of someone like that. We said we did it out of honor, so now we're on this sort of pedestal, if you think about how he's saying it. Now, you're gonna dirty your hands by having such trash and filth actions be part of what you commit. And when he says he'd rather be a dog howling at the moon than such a Roman, it goes to show this sort of dignity that Brutus is trying to maintain. Also, a rift between the two, isn't it? Cassius, Brutus, bane not me. I'll not endure it. You forget yourself. To hedge me in, I am a soldier. I, older in practice, abler than yourself to make conditions. Here, what do we see? Bane not me, so don't bark and howl at me. Right? Hedge you in, so hedge is the hedges are they go along the perimeter, or they close things in, and they create a gap, like hedges on apartment building, so a criminal doesn't, have an easier time getting into the window. A hedge is like a finishing touch. Either way, it goes around a perimeter, along a wall. So and hedge your bets is also an expression. To hedge something, You know, it's like a boundary, a way of encapsulating something. And he reminds Brutus that he's a soldier and he's more abler. So it's like a threat there, right? It's like Brutus is more of a statesman. Cassius is like, I'm a soldier. You better watch out. You don't get to tell me what to do. Wait. Brutus, go to, you are not. Cassius, I am. I say you are not. Oh, snap. Urge me not more. I shall forget myself. Have mind upon your health. Tempt me no farther. That's a slap right there. Have mind upon your health. Think about that. It's like a way of insulting you, like you're weak, you're feeble. You should be more cautious about your risking your health. Alright? He's a detriment to his health. Brutus, away, slight man. Is it possible? Hear me, for I will speak. Must I give way and room to your rash choler? Shall I be frightened when a madman stares? Frightened when a madman stares. Cassius, oh ye gods, must I endure all this? Brutus, they say more. Fret till your proud heart break. Go, show your slaves how choleric you are, and make your bondmen tremble. Must I budge? Must I observe you? Must I stand and crouch under your testy humor? By the gods, you shall digest the venom of your spleen, though it do split you. For from this day forth I'll use you for my mirth, yea, for my laughter, when you are waspish. Look at this. Must I stand and crouch under your testy humor? So he doesn't mean humor as in comedy, like humor in this sense is used as mood. So it's like someone who's really testy and irritable. When he talks about choleric, this sort of reactionary, red in the face, like type of attitude, right? And he's saying, you make your bondsmen tremble, so he's pointing out the mistreatment he does to his slaves who are in debt to him. They have to endure his attitude, whereas Brutus, he doesn't. He's a free man, he's a statesman. He does not have to be all about that. And he says, we have a phrase now called cope and seethe. He says something, fret till your proud heart breaks. So, really showing the inability of Cassius to control his temperament, when a Roman is supposed to be more stoic. Right. Cassius, is it come to this? Brutus, you say you are a better soldier. Let it appear so. Make your vaunting true. And it shall please me well, for my own part. I shall be glad to learn of noble men. Cassius, you wrong me every way. You wrong me, Brutus. I said an elder soldier, not better. Did I say better? See, this is a little semantics. When you say elder, you're implying better, because you have more experience, a longer period of doing such a thing. Practice makes perfect, right? You know. Brutus, if you did, I cared not. Cassius, when Caesar lived, he durst not thus have moved me. Brutus, rest. Peace, peace, you durst not so have tempted him. I durst not, no. What durst not tempt him? Brutus, for your life you durst not. Notice this. Cassius mentioned here, when Caesar was alive, he wouldn't have moved me to such anger. Cassius, do not presume too much upon my love. I may do that I shall be sorry for. Brutus, you have done that you should be sorry for. There is no terror, Cassius, in your threats. For I am armed so strong in honesty, that they pass by me as the idle wind, which I respect not. I did send to you for certain sums of gold, which you denied me, for I can raise no money by vile means. By heaven, I had rather coin my heart and drop my blood for drachmas than to wring from the hard hands of peasants their vile trash. By any indirection, I did send to you for gold to pay my legions, which you denied me. Was that done like Cassius? Ooh, some money for the legions. Uh-oh. Should I have answered Cassius so? When Marcus Brutus grows so covetous to lock such rascal counters from his friends? Be ready, gods, with all your thunderbolts. Dash him to pieces. Cassius. I denied you not. You did. I did not. He was but a fool that brought my answer back. Brutus have risen my heart. A friend should bear his friend's infirmities, but Brutus makes mine greater than they are. I do not. Till you practice them on me, you love me not. I do not like your faults. That's a funny one. So Cassius like, you love me not. Like, there's no, like, fraternity, right? And he's like, I do not like your faults. So it's like pointing out, like, I don't have to like everything about you. You know, I'm gonna notice your faults, whether I like you as a person or not. Alright? Cassius. A friendly eye could never see such faults. Brutus. A flatterers would not, though they do appear as huge as high Olympus. Cassius. Come, Antony, and young Octavius, come. Revenge yourselves alone on Cassius. For Cassius is of the world, hated by one he loves, braved by his brother, checked like a bondsman, all his faults observed, set in a notebook, learned and conned by rote, to cast into my teeth. I could weep my spirit from my eyes. There is my dagger, and here my naked breast within a heart dearer than Plutus, mine richer than gold. If that thou beest a Roman, take it forth. I, that denied thee gold, will give my heart. Strike as thou didst at Caesar, for I know, when thou didst hate him worst, thou lovedst him better than ever thou lovest Cassius. So this is an interesting rift that's developing, because you're seeing, hey now, you know, what's gonna happen? Cold truce. Brutus. Sheathe your dagger. Be angry when you will. It shall have scope. Do what you will, dishonor shall be humor. O Cassius, you are yoked with a lamb that carries anger, as the flint bears fire, who, much enforced, shows a hasty spark, and straight is cold again. Cassius. Hath Cassius lived to be but mirth and laughter to his Brutus, when grief and blood ill-temper vexed him? Brutus. When I spoke that, I was ill-tempered too. Do you confess much? Give me your hand. And my heart too? Oh, Brutus, what's the matter? Have you not loved enough to bear with me, when the rash humor which my mother gave me makes me forgetful? Brutus. Yes, Cassius, and from henceforth, when you are over earnest with your Brutus, he'll think your mother chides, and leave you so. Poet within. Let me go in to see the generals. There is some grudge between 'em. 'Tis not meet they be alone. Lucilius. The typo, sorry, is like it's like an older copy, and it's like kind of faded. Within you shall not come to them. Poet within. Nothing but death shall stay me. Enter Poet, followed by Lucilius, Titanius, and Lucius. Cassius. How now? What's the matter? Poet. For shame, you generals. What do you mean? Love and be friends. as two such men should be, for I have seen more years, I am sure, than ye. Cassius. Ha ha! How vilely doth this cynic rhyme! Brutus. Get you hence, sirrah, saucy fellow, hence. I like that word, saucy, because it's so true. You could be like, saucy and is different than sassy, but saucy is like, hey, get a little spicy on me. Cassius. Bear with him, Brutus, 'tis his fashion. Brutus. I'll know his humor when he knows his time. What should the wars do with these jiggling fools? Companion, hence. I'll know his humor when he knows his time. That is brilliant. Do you get it? He'll tolerate his personality if he learns the right time and place to behave in such a way. Right? That's what I like about Shakespeare, is you can say a longer sentence in this very poetic way. The beauty of concise wit. Because they're having this tense conversation, and here comes this poet. It's like when you're arguing with somebody, and then like someone interjects with something completely out of pocket, and you're just like, so we're having a serious conversation here. You're disrupting the flow, right? Why are you so mad at me? It's like you interrupted. Like, know your place, know what's happening. Situational awareness. What should the wars do with these jigging fools? Companion said. Cassius, away, be gone. Exit poet. So poets shoot off. Brutus, Lucilius and Titinius bid the commanders prepare to lodge their companies tonight. Cassius, and come yourselves and bring Messala with you, immediately to us. Exit Lucilius and Titinius. Brutus, Lucius, a bowl of wine. Exit Lucius. Cassius, I did not think you could have been so angry. Brutus, O Cassius, I am sick of many griefs. Cassius, of your philosophy you make no use, if you give place to accidental evils. Brutus, no man bears sorrow better. Portia is dead. Cassius, Portia. Brutus, she is dead. Cassius, how scaped I killing when I crushed you so? O insupportable and touching loss, upon what sickness? Brutus, impatient of my absence, and grief that young Octavius with Mark Antony have made themselves so strong. But with her death that tidings came, and with this she fell distract, and her attendants absent swallowed fire. Cassius, and died so. Brutus, even so. Cassius, O ye immortal gods! Re-enter Lucius with wine and taper. Brutus, speak no more of her. Give me a bowl of wine, and this I bury all unkindness. Cassius. Cassius, my heart is thirsty for that noble pledge, Phil. Lucius, to the wine o'erwells the cup. I cannot drink too much of Brutus' love. Brutus, come in, Titinius. Exit Lucius. Re-enter Titinius and Messala. Welcome, good Messala. Now sit, we close about this taper here, and call in question our necessities. Cassius, Portia, art thou gone? Brutus, no more, I pray you. Messala, I have here received letters that young Octavius and Mark Antony come down upon us with a mighty power, bending their expedition toward Philippi. Messala, myself have better letters of the selfsame tenor. Brutus, with what addition? Messala, that by proscription and bills of outlawry, Octavius, Antony, and Lepidus have put to death 100 senators. What would you look at that? Brutus, therein our letters do not well agree. Mine speak of 70 senators that died by their proscriptions, Cicero being one. Cassius, Cicero one? Messala, Cicero is dead, and by that order of proscription Had you your letters from your wife, my lord? Brutus. No, Messella. Nor nothing in your letters writ of her? Nothing, Messella. That methinks is strange. Why ask you? Hear you aught of her in yours? No, my lord. Now, as you are a Roman, tell me true. Then, like a Roman, bear the truth I tell, for certain she is dead, and by strange manner. Why, farewell, Portia. We must die. Messella, with mediating that she must die once, I have the patience to endure it now. Even so great men losses should endure. Cassius. I have as much as this in art as you, but yet my nature could not bear it. Brutus. Well, to our work alive, what do you think of marching to Philippi presently? Cassius. I do not think it good. Your reason? That it is 'tis better that the enemy seek us. So shall he waste his means, weary his soldiers, doing himself offence, whilst we, lying still, are full of rest, defence, and nimblesse. Now I like that is a very cool point. Let the enemy seek you, then they use their resources to make their soldiers tired, while you're preserving your energy. This really hints at the offensive and defensive war measures. Brutus. Good reasons must of course give place to better. The people twixt Philippi and this ground do stand but in forced affection, for they have grudged us contribution. The enemy marching along by them, by then shall make a fuller number up. Come, on refresh new added, and encouraged, from which advantage shall we cut him off? If at Philippi we do face him there, these people at our back. Cassius. Hear me, good brother. Brutus. Under your pardon, you must note beside that we have tried the utmost of our friends. Our legions are brimful, our cause is ripe. The enemy increaseth every day. We, at the height, are ready to decline. There is a tide in the affairs of men, which taken at the flood leads on to fortune. Omitted, all the voyage of their life is bound in shallows and in miseries. On such a full sea are we now afloat, and we must take the current when it serves, or lose our ventures. Now that is well said. So the current, take the current when it serves. So for sailing people, like, catch the current, then you don't have to use your oars, you don't have to use your manpower. The wind is helping you to go. Now, at the height, you're ready to decline. So you can't get any higher. The only way is down. Think about that. Cassius. Then, with your will, go on, go along ourselves, and meet them at Philippi. Brutus. The deep of night is crept upon our talk, and nature must obey necessity, which we will regard with a little rest. There is no more to say. Cassius. No more. Good night. Early tomorrow we will rise, and hence. Brutus. Lucius. Enter Lucius. My gown. Exit Lucius. Farewell, good Messella. Good night, Titinius, noble Cassius. Good night, and good repose. Cassius. Oh, my dear brother, this was an ill beginning of the night. Never come to such division between our souls. Let it not, Brutus. Brutus. Everything is well. Cassius. Good night, my lord. Good night, good brother. Titinius, Messella. Good night, Lord Brutus. Brutus. Farewell, everyone. Exit all but Brutus. Wow. Okay, so we see they made up as friends. Cassius says, don't ever let this controversy, division, contempt, arguments, and such bad moods arise again in the relationship. So they repaired it. In some movies you would just see them get shanked. come mortal enemies. But Shakespeare has a way of patching things up to keep the energy going. Whew. The big conspiracy, right, of Antony and Octavius taking out senators. You can see the chaos here happening. Now, I don't remember how Cicero died, but here in the play we'll take it from there. Cicero was like this important orator in the Senate who many would follow his opinion because he was very smart. And for him to be dead, it's like, okay, now there's a tit for tat. These are the games the elites play while the regular people are going about their day. But no doubt about it, the day Caesar was killed in the aftermath, it was pretty tense for the Romans. In ancient Rome, it's pretty brutal. Mighty empire, but the brutality unmatched. The Aztecs had their form of human sacrifice, and they made a spectacle, but no one made a more grand spectacle than the Colosseum. And would I have gone to those? I think I would have. The TV offers us fiction, but you still see raw violence. So the Colosseum now is through the internet. But you can see how two strong minds coming together in a time where there's gladiatorial games and outright wars coming from Sulla, the Bracci brothers. You just look at the lineage of how the emperors were, what it meant to be a Roman, how the Romans prepared themselves. You begin to notice very quickly the mindset of a Roman. And so when you see two Romans make up, that shows the maturity, right? Today it's not very common. I've apologized to people who I've argued with, but some people, they don't want to patch things up after one tiny disagreement. People throw away friendships really easy nowadays. Extremely easy. Here, Shakespeare highlights for us that in the 15th century, when he was writing, I can't remember if it was the 15th or 16th, but either way, long time ago, viewers were expecting some type of camaraderie, right, in the Roman fashion, how they would have handled it. Now, you can see Brutus being sad, wanting to drink, burying his thoughts in wine. Not the best choice, but then again, we're dealing with an Italian, right? Merlot and whatnot. But I'm excited to see what happens further. The insults are perfect, the writing style on point, an active scene of suspense, must say. Enjoyable overall. Alright, until next time, friends. We will see what happens to Cassius, Brutus, Titanius, Marcella. And the poet line is the funniest, Just kind of shows you how the poets, if they act like bards sometimes, like the court gestures, or just someone like poet just coming in with their creative energy in the moment where their seriousness, it doesn't match and you get kicked out. It's really funny. A little bit of humor, isn't it? At least I saw it. By the way, new blog posts are up. If you'd like to join the blog, please do so at www.subscribestar.com/Milahan Archive. Hope to see you there.